This video will guide you through how VisionWorks, our next-generation life planning software, can take your financial planning business to the highest level.
So thank you for your time. Today, I want to talk about helping couples create their vision of life. Let's just bring up VisionWorks. To create a financial or life plan, you need 2 points. The starting point, what clients have and do now, and their current financial circumstances, and the end point, clients' goals or wants in life. But if you're creating financial plans, which we define as plans that you create for clients, there's a major dilemma. Couples don't 100% agree all the time on their goals. And even if they do agree, they may not agree on when something should be done or how much it should cost. For example, Bill and Sue identify that they want to renovate the kitchen. But when you ask them to quantify the renovation, Sue says $100,000 next year, whereupon Bill falls off his chair because he had in mind $20,000. So let's enter Sue's desire for a $100,000 renovation. How you manage disagreements can undermine the entire planning process. It's that important. In a financial plan, because you need an endpoint, what clients are planning for, to manage disagreements, advisors often try to reconcile them. Why do you feel that way? You have to do this because when you create plans for clients, you need to know the endpoint. But reconciling different points of view takes time, often leads to negative emotions, and almost always results in a winner and a loser, who may, at least emotionally, subtly drop out of the planning process, thereby undermining it. I want to relate a story about when I first recognized this issue. I was working with a couple, and we were talking about planning for their son's university education. The wife's point of view was 4 years, undergraduate only, and at a local university. At the time, the cost was about $5,000 a year for a total cost of about $20,000. The husband's point of view was undergrad and postgrad, let's say 6 years, anywhere in Canada. At the time, about $20,000 a year for a total cost of $120,000. A difference of $100,000. Because of the 2 different points of view, I suggested that we use the higher figure. I explained that if their son just attended undergrad locally, they'd accumulate an extra $100,000 that they could use for other purposes, such as their retirement. At which point, the wife sat back in her chair and folded her arms. We finished and agreed to meet again in a week. The day before the meeting, the husband called and said they needed to postpone for a week. The day before that meeting, he called again and rebooked. And then he called a 3rd time to rebook. So I asked, "What's going on?" To which he replied, "She doesn't want to continue the plan." I immediately had the image in my mind when she sat back and folded her arms. And I realized that when I included the husband's point of view, she no longer saw the plan as hers. A few weeks ago, in one of our sessions, one of our clients related doing something very similar, and he heard afterwards that it resulted in a very heated argument when the couple was at home. My point is that you need to be very attentive when working with couples. How do you deal with different points of view when using VisionWorks? Whether you're creating a financial plan or life plan, you acknowledge and simply record a couple's different points of view. So let's relabel this entry as Renovate the Kitchen, Sue. And let's add Bill's point of view. You'll recall that we said it was for $20,000, so we'll just move that forward also to 2023. When you enter the 2 points of view, there's no waste of time and no negative emotions. You explain to clients that the long-term implications of their different points of view can be understood only within the context of the whole. In the second planning meeting, when all data has been entered, you use VisionWorks to include one point of view while excluding the other and see the impact on the plan. Then you switch. Let's exclude Bill's point of view and look at the financial forecast. So with Sue's $100,000 kitchen renovation included, we see that 1 year less the life expectancy year, that the income asset projection is now $459,000. Let's exclude Sue's point of view and include Bill's. And let's look at the income assets forecast. Again, in the second last year of the plan, we see now that the total income asset forecast is $678,000. So there's a difference of more than $200,000. Let's look at the different points of view by using two solutions. So I'm going to rename this, or I'm going to copy it and then name it Kitchen Reno Bill. And then I'm going to create another copy. And I'm going to name it Kitchen Reno Sue. And of course, what I need to do in it is go to the entries page, exclude Bill's point of view, and include Sue's point of view. So let's look at the compare tab. And what we'll do is we'll compare Kitchen Reno Bill with Kitchen Reno Sue and see what the implications are. If we go to total in the income assets tabs, we can see visually that Bill's point of view, $678,000, Sue's point of view, $459,000, the numbers that we saw previously. But what I also want to do is I want to look at net worth. And what you'll see is that even though they spent $100,000 on the kitchen renovation and have fewer income assets as a result, their net worth is actually higher. In the first case, $8,069,000, and in the second case, $8,342,000. And that's because VisionWorks adds the value of the kitchen to the home and then applies the growth rate over time. So if clients are considering downsizing at some point, financially, they might actually be better off spending more in the kitchen renovation. And in the meantime, they get to enjoy the kitchen that Sue's always wanted. So this is a good example of how we can help clients, especially couples, make informed decisions when they have different points of view. To take your financial planning business to the highest level, you must acknowledge when couples have different points of view and use life planning software such as VisionWorks that's designed to support couples. Thank you for your time.
Book a demo. We'd be happy to show you more of VisionWorks' incredible features.